Hello and welcome to the Old Garage number 61. I'm Wild Bill, and questions, of course, answers, of course, bit of silliness, shout out, so let's get it rolling. First question came from the last The Old Garage. This was James MacArthur, and he asks, your last question makes me wonder, what were the money pit cars in the vintage era? Which ones developed that reputation that said only fools and losers owned this vehicle? Well, the last question first here, because there are really two things. I don't know of too many cars that when they were brand new only losers would have that, but I do know of one, and that was the Trojan, which was built out in Britain. It was actually, the prototypes came out in 1913, but it didn't start coming out until 1920s. It was quite literally a disposable car. You bought one, you drove it, and if something broke, you threw it away. Anything broke, you just throw the car away. It was not worth fixing. There were even garages in England at the time that had signs out front saying, no Trojans. If you drive one of those, you're not getting it fixed here. No. So, and they actually are on the list. That Trojan's gonna have their own episode. So, that's definitely disposable cars, and there were a couple, but Trojan just sticks out to me. But as far as the money pit cars go, really anything that you bought as a chassis is going to be a money pit. The coach built cars, those were designed to be money pits from the get-go. When you bought a car in chassis form, I mean, you've only bought half the car. Now you have to take it to another company to have the body put onto it, and it's expected when you buy a car like that you are going to have a chauffeur and a mechanic to do the maintenance on it. I mean, buying a coach-built car at the time was kind of like buying a swimming pool now. I mean, yeah, you'll enjoy it, but whether you're using it or not, it's a money. You're constantly putting money into the thing. And with those coach-built cars, it's you're paying the salaries of the people who drive it and fix it, and the maintenance on it. And they weren't cheap to maintain. So yeah, those would be your money pits back in the day. All right, a couple questions came from the posts section, the community from the quizzes. And this one comes from AC1967. It says, could you explain the difference between a motor and an engine? Sure. It really depends on how it generates its motive power. An engine will do this with a fuel of some sort, like chemically, or with heat or something like that. Whereas a motor will do it with electrical power. So motors convert electrical power into motive power. Engines convert chemical power into motive power. That's essentially the difference. Of course, colloquially, a lot of people just use them interchangeably. Some people will call an engine a motor and a motor an engine, and just in common, vernacular and such, it's people don't really care unless they really care. You have to be pretty nerdy on the topic to care on that one. But yeah, that's what it is. If it is, the easy rule of thumb is if it's electric, it's a motor. If it ain't, it's an engine. Pretty straightforward. And this question also came from the community page. And this one was from Aces and Eights. Okay. And it says, how often did vintage cars come from industries you wouldn't expect? Very often. And there's two ways to look at that. You have those people that came from industries you wouldn't expect, and believe me, it's all over the place. Bell makers, button makers, furniture makers, cigar salesmen, brick makers, whatever that would come from, hotel, people, newspaper guys. It's all over the place that would end up buying or sponsoring makes of cars. As far as car companies that were making something you wouldn't expect to get into cars. It happened. Kind of like why would a silk weaving company start making cars? You know, Marius Breuer. So, yeah, you did see that. There was companies that would just do diversification because they could. Quite frankly, Peugeot was a lot like that. That was a company that was making all kinds of other stuff before they got into car making. So many of your manufacturers that were very cosmopolitan in what they manufactured and kind of were all over the place would end up making cars too. So pretty common stuff. All right, that was the questions. Not too long. The silliness today. This is going to be a short one because some of you might have saw on the community page last week. I noticed that this was going to be the 300th video that's actually been put on the channel. This is it. Video number 300 is the old Garage 61. So, hey, thanks for watching this stuff for 300 videos. Some of you actually probably have seen all 300 videos. And appreciate your patronage and hope to give you another 300 more. And so, shout out. This one, many of you might know this guy. I just want to make sure you do, and that's going to be Dennis Gage over at MyClassicCarTV. I've watched him for years. He's had TV channels and such, but he's got snippets and things that he puts on his YouTube channel. And you never know what you're going to get on him. I mean, it could be a vintage or veteran car, or it could be a muscle car, it could be a car from the 50s, 40s, or even 80s. We don't know. But it's a cool channel, and he's got the mustache to rock on that. So check out that channel. The links in the description. And that's what we have today for the old garage, and I will see you next time. Peace.